welcome to episode 4. This is the interior. Everything is ripped out, as you can see. And as we expected, there's rust, there's dirt, there are holes, there are things that we really need to repair. Some not as bad as others, some are pretty bad, we need to repair them pretty sharpish, but the majority is looking really good, so see how far we get in the episode. Okay, so first things first, we've got this area here where the seat belt is retained in the body. Now you can see the crack all the way around this sort of retaining bolt. I'm going to have to cut this whole section out. Now this is actually visible in the wheel well right there. You can see my finger just going over the hole there. Now that needs to be cut out and repaired. I did suspect this is going to be a problem because of the rust inside the wheel arch. So I didn't realize it was going to go all the way through this, but anyway, so this is what we're dealing with. That's problem number 1. So this has been repaired before. This is the seat mounting bracket. You can see there's been an attempt to repair this bracket, and it seems to have strengthened it, which is okay. We'll just neaten this up, get a grinder, but they haven't protected this in any way, so it's just going to keep rusting out all the time. So we're just going to smooth this out, get some paint primer on there and protect it further. Now here's a clear problem. So now the heating element sits underneath the driver's seat, and there's 2 pipes that go underneath the body and towards the engine bay. Now you can see this wasn't sealed correctly, and water's been pooling and obviously making its way up into the body and then running down into the sills and basically just sitting there, which is a recipe for disaster. So again, we'll clean this whole area up. I'm going to weld a plate in there, just weld this completely closed, and we'll sound deaden it and we'll get rid of that that heating element that was here, because it was basically, it's disconnect, unused. I don't need it, so that's not a problem. The other issue we've got, I'm just going to jump in the truck, is the other mounting point for the other seat is all the way around the bolt is completely rusted out. So you can see, I don't know if you can see any movement on that bolt there. You press it down, yeah, it's completely rusted out. So again, I'm going to have to get the grinder on this, get a new plate, and tack a new nut on there so we can get that secured correctly. And you can see all the mud and stuff that's just been sitting in here over the years, and it's got nowhere to go. So, and that's the thing about these 80 series, people love to thrash them through mud holes and stuff, and they just forget about trapping all the water and the dirt inside the vehicle, and eventually that creates a lot of problems down the line. So there looks like there has been a previous attempt to either protect or rust proof some areas here. Now this is a really odd material, I don't know what this is, but it's gone really brittle. It's very tough, but I have pressed down there, so they haven't really rolled it into the gaps, which is it's not really good, and needs to be rolled all over all the gaps. If you do, there we go, we've got a crack there, see how it cracks? There we go. You press down on this, it's super brittle, and that just basically just flakes off. And this is what I need to do, is basically get rid of all these air pockets and get the sound deadening rolled all over these areas. Ultimately, I'd love to get this out. I might try the heat gun on this and see if it actually softens up and comes out, because I need to see underneath this. If this hasn't been installed correctly, like I can see, this again is going to hold some water under here potentially. And again, yeah, right in the corner here, you got all this mud just sitting in there, not got nowhere to go. So the body, all that, look at that, great. So it's got nowhere to go. You've got these, obviously the plugs are in, which is good, so you've got no water coming up from below, but we need to make sure this is all clean and figure out why we've got a leak in this area. We don't know why. I have checked underneath, there is no sort of evidence of rust from below. I will check again and just see if there's any sort of penetrations coming into the body. The gearbox tunnel is good, and the driver's side area again has got plenty of dirt, loads in the corners, and it's pretty good shape. So there is some cracking to the original sort of sound deadening there. That's not much to worry about, so we look like we're okay here. So once we get this washed, that's what we're going to do now, is wash the interior, get all the stuff out, and then I'm going to start washing the carpet, pressure washing that, shampoo them down, just make some progress on that. And then once we got that to a reasonable standard, we start sound deadening, and then we'll leave these areas open so we can carry on with the weld repairs straight away and then get that done. Righty, day 2, how far we've got. So we've done a whole lot of repairs, tackled some rust areas. I'll show you that in a second. So this is what we're going to be laying down on the body. We've got 50 square meters of this dodo mat. Got a couple of the tools. These are pretty handy. And we do have a heat gun that's going to help, because the stuff is pretty cool. I think a top tip for anybody who's going to do this is probably get that into a warm environment, so it makes them more pliable. So yeah, we'll do that. So I'll just show you what we've done. So I've done an etch primer over all the sort of rust areas just to encapsulate them before they get covered. Weld repairs, just any sort of rusty areas, we've welded that closed. That's all been TIG welded closed. That's had a repair. And then we fully welded this area here yesterday. That's all welded in, new plate, new bolts, all fully TIG welded, nice and protected. That looks good. And now we are ready to sound deaden the whole place. So heat gun, we're going to start from the driver's side and the passenger, and we're going to work our way back all the way that way and see how far we get.
Right, it's a bit different. Looks very different.
We're done. Sound deadening is in. Went really well actually. 50 sheets. We used all 50 sheets, and they are probably a wheel arch. Wheel arch behind me needs doing, but all 50 sheets are down. Word of advice: get yourself a good roller, especially these little metal ones that come with the dodo mats. These are really good. Very, very handy. A decent set of scissors and a good knife. These are relatively easy to cut and lay down. Once they start going into the crevices, it's really easy to form. It's quite nice to work with, nice material. It went down pretty quick, a couple of hours, and we did the most of the vehicle. So repairs are done, the rust is done, the sound deadening's in, the carpet's been washed. Let's get that in and let's get this done.
Let's go. Let's go!
Yeah, the love of having a Land Cruiser with electric windows that decide when they want to work, right? You've got to love the Land Cruisers. Do you hear the difference?
Yeah.
It sounds so much more insulated. All that noise that resonates from below, it's really dampened that really well. Granted, we haven't done the doors. I think we've got to do the doors. Yeah. So
It's helpful, the
yeah,
audio from the sides coming out.
but it sounds so good. You can still obviously hear the truck, but not as loud.
Yeah.
Way more insulated. Feels warmer. I don't know, it just feels more cozy.
Yeah.
Right?
much more nicer to like, especially on long drives,
Yeah.
just be able to like calm down, quiet down.
We won't hear that drone of the.
No. Much as it's a nice sound to listen to.
Yeah. So much better. Obviously, the ram mount doesn't help with the rattle, but it sounds great. I think when we got the drawers in the back, that's going to insulate the sound even more.
Yeah.
It's going to make this cab really cozy. This sounds really, really good. Real good. £80 well spent, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't too bad. I mean, if you've got a decent body and decent cab, you haven't got to do a lot of repairs, then it won't take you that long. I mean, it took us what? As long as all the prep work is done, it took us like a few hours, and then all the sound deadening was in.
Yeah.
I'm just going to spin around here.
As long as you have some good tools, some time, and some well like prepared nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Then you're the same as us.
So what do you think of it? What do you think of it?
What do I think of it? Quiet, but nice.
Yeah.
Like, sounds very calming,
Yeah.
but when you're out of it, aggressive.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice for...
Obviously, you've been in the vehicle
when it
prior to
hasn't.
this.
Yeah.
And the difference is a lot better.
Yeah, you can really tell.
It's definitely worth what we did. Yeah, so for $80, plus, well, we put 20 quid for the tools, but those tools were brilliant.
Yeah.
I would highly
Well
recommend
needed.
getting those tools, yeah. And get yourself a standing blade. 80 quid to do basically the whole under side of the carpet was definitely worth it. So I would get some more sheets to do the doors, because we're going to do the door cards. We are going to take the wood out of the door cards and change that to an ABS plastic, because the door cards are made of like an MDF material. They've got wet and they're starting to rot out, so we're going to get them changed out. So we'll have all that refurbished and less things to worry about, which is good. And in terms of the time it took to do all the work, I mean, once all the prep, if you don't have any rust and any issues, it's pretty quick. It took us a few hours today to do all the obviously all the sound editing, which is it was really easy to lay as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Like wallpaper.
Yeah. We didn't even need to have the heat
Skills
gun or
or
anything like
anything.
that. So, which is really good.
Not many skills required.
Yeah.
Just kind of
It was pretty easy to do.
stick it in.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys have got comments, suggestions, let us know down below. And hopefully next week we've got draw system to go, we've got wheels and tires with suspension, we've got a lot of things going on. But I think we're going to be moving on to the draw system next.
Yep.
That's that big one. This was a big milestone to get that done. Now that the repairs are done, the rust, and now the drawers need to go in and start getting manufactured. That's going to be a good project. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So stay tuned. See you guys next week. See you in the next one.
I have exorcised the demons.